Welcome inside. Hi everybody. I am so excited to see you guys today. Today we're going to talk about financial stability. I know a lot of people have the tendency to believe that it's about the many zeros in your bank account, but it's actually more than that. So for me to be able to better explain what it is, I have a friend of mine on set who is a financial educator that I've been knowing for years now, and I know he's going to deliver some good information. But first, before I introduce him, I need you to do one thing. Make sure that you have already subscribed to our YouTube channel and activated the notification bell so you do not miss any new content. And grab a cup of tea with a friend and enjoy. So, hi Joe, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, Divine. How are you?
I'm doing really good. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation.
Thank you for having me here.
The second time. No, I'm just kidding. How's everything?
Amazing. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for the producer. Thank you for you as well for inviting me. Everything is going amazing.
Of course, of course. Anyways, one thing that I definitely wanted us to discuss today is financial stability.
Yes.
So before we do so, I know you, but they don't know you. Can you please introduce yourself to them?
Of course, yeah. I am Ngoma. I am currently a financial educator. I always like to educate my community, my friends, everybody around me. I'm a child of God. I'm also a servant of God. I go to church under the leadership of Prophet Christopher Beleke. I'm also a banker, and currently writing my first book as well about financial literacy that'll be coming up in November. So I'm also juggling a lot of things, also a CEO for a new startup that just started that help others to launch their businesses. So if you have a business following right now, let me know. I'll be able to help you out. So that's a little bit about me. Thank you so much.
I was so excited when I saw you launching your business.
I'm happy to hear that.
So Joe,
yes,
here's the question. How do you define financial stability?
Wow, financial stability. I will try to define it the simplest way possible. I don't want to make it too complicated for people watching us as well. The best way I like to define it, it's living in stress-free financially to the point where you are able to meet your expenses. You are able to save for emergency fund. You also save for your future goals. You know, so if someone today, they are currently living paycheck to paycheck, they are worried about having enough at the end of the month, they are not financially stable. You know, they always feel like, man, I don't have enough for emergency fund. Those are the sign of someone who's not financially stable. So whenever you are stress-free, well, I do have enough money. Today, if I get laid off, I'm gonna be okay. That shows you that you are financially stable. So having enough that you can put on the side, being able to meet your expenses at the end of the month, saving up for future goals, those are the way I can define financial stability.
Okay, so it's definitely not about the zeros in your bank account.
Not necessarily, you know, because there are a lot of people that can also make a lot of money, but surprisingly, at the end of the month, they don't have enough. And you wonder, how can they be making $100,000? Why? Because maybe they're living above their means. You know, they want to impress people. As a result, they find themselves at the end of the month, they don't have enough. So you can have a lot of money, but still don't know how to manage it. You know, so it's not necessarily about the zero. I mean, it will be okay if you make more money, so you have you can save more. But when you think about it, it's really about those habits, those principles, to the point where you do have enough after paying for your expenses. You do have an emergency. You do have something today. If you get kicked off of your job, you're gonna be okay. You know, so it's kind of the way I would describe it.
But financial stability can eventually lead to have more zeros in your bank account.
Exactly. So
the
that's
money.
Exactly. But you need to know the steps. You need to know the step. You're just not gonna wake up one day find yourself financially free or making more money. You know, you need to have a plan of action. How do you get there? And that is something that I actually talked about in my book, about setting up goals to actually get to that point. You know, you want to save up. There are a lot of people that want to be millionaires. I ask myself the question, how do you want to be millionaires if you cannot even handle 100,000 you're making a year? You know, when you think about it, it's like those little steps, even when you're making 100,000, to know how to manage that. You know, so it definitely can lead to more zeros if you're financially literate.
Gotcha. So Joel, I've been knowing you for a while now.
Yes.
But I've never really asked you, what pushed you to become a financial educator?
That's a really good question. One thing I always say, whenever I get in the US, funny thing, whenever I got in the US, I was trying to figure out what I was trying to do, things like that. And one day I was watching something on Facebook. There was this lady who went to visit an orphanage, and she was just with different orphans, and she was just giving them food and things like that. And something inside of me wanted to be able to contribute, to add more value to them as well. And then I asked myself the question, how do I do that? I realized that in order for me to be able to help them even financially, I had first of all to be financially stable. So at first I started to learn a little bit about finances, but the more I was learning about finances, the more I was realizing my community around me, there are a lot of people that know about finances. You know, even how to get a mortgage, you know, how loans work, how credit card work. It's so simple, but if you don't understand it works, it's hard for you to navigate your finances. So that's what fueled my passion. So I started to read more books about it, watching videos, attending seminars. I was even taking financial classes when I was in my undergrad school. You know, I worked for different financial institutions just because I wanted to be knowledgeable. You know, how does the stock market works? How does crypto works? How does option? Those are kind of different assets when you're investing. I wanted to know about it. So that's kind of what got me into this. You know, that desire to be able to help one person at a time. You know, I might not have thousands of people, but I want to start with one person who right now is struggling financially.
And how old were you at that time?
At the time, I was probably, when I had that vision, was probably 18. You know, 18, I would say 18, between 18 and 19. That's when I was actually thinking about getting involved at that point. I mean, at that point, I wasn't making much. You know, I was like, how do I even pay for my school at that time? That's the reason why I was like, you know, let me find different ways. Let me find different ways to help my parents, you know, and to save for my future goals. That's why it started, you know, little by little, step by step, taking certification, going to seminars, reading books. That got me to the point where I am today.
Well, you don't have to tell us how old you are, but
No
how
problem.
many years did it take you from 18 to actually become financially stable before you give us the steps?
To be honest with you, I'm still on that journey. You know, I'm still on a journey. I don't want to say here like I know the answer to everything, but the good thing, I'm not where I used to be. You know, I'm still on the journey because there's still goals that I want to achieve. You know, so but I'm in a point where now I am positioned to give something to other people, to tell them at least how do you budget, how do you build different stream of incomes, what are even different stream of income that's out there. So I'm still on that journey. The day I will probably get there, I guess you're probably gonna hear about my financial school, helping other people, giving away to my community, because that's what I have in mind. You know, to that point where I want to be able to even help others. You know, help others financially. So I'm still on that journey. I don't want to say here that I'm totally not worried about finding, but I'm building toward that journey, and it's a step-by-step process.
Okay, so what are the practical steps
Yes.
can one individual take to begin their journey to financial stability? But let's focus more on the Gen Z because they're the ones struggling a lot.
That's a really good question. I mean, in my book that I'm currently writing, there are 7 ways to take control of your financial journey. One of the ways, the first way, is to be able to assess your financial health. When you go to the hospital, the first thing they ask you is do some tests to see what's going on with your body. You need to diagnose what's going on. Then you can find a cure for it. There's some goals for when you come to finances. You need to know what states are you financially. What does it mean? You need to know how much are you receiving, how much do you owe, how much do you pay, how much do you save, and how much are you investing. When you get like a budget, when you get an idea, scope of what is your finances, then you can work toward next step that I call setting up your SMART goals. You know, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound goals. You know, it can be you want to save maybe 10,000 by June or July for down payment. Yeah, that's a goal, but you need to figure out like how much are you spending, how much are you saving toward that goal on a monthly basis. You know, some people just want to have 50,000 on my business, but realistic speaking, like how much are you putting on the side? After you've done that, the third step that I recommend to people is to develop what I call healthy financial habits. What does it mean? I'm going to give you an example. Delay gratification. We live in a generation I like to call it fast food generation. We want things right now. Give me that. I want to go to that vacation in Dubai right now. I want to go with my friend. When you think about it, when you have goals, you don't want to just be spending money like this. You want to have You want to delay that gratification. Of course, you would like to go out with your friends. Of course, you like to travel. But at the end of the day, you're like, I do have a goal. Because of that, I'm not going to go. You know, delayed gratification is really important. Living below your means. With social media, many people want to impress others. You know, maybe with fancy cars, maybe fancy restaurant, all that. It's important to go eat out, but you need to make sure if you're not paying your bills, you're having a hard time to pay your bills, it won't be making sense for you to travel around the world, you know? So those are some of the practical ways I would say, probably assessing your financial health, setting up smart goals, and the third thing, developing healthy financial habits.
Okay. So we live in America, so I'm
Yes.
really going to focus on Americans' economy.
Yes.
So we've seen from the beginning of the year until now, the economy has inflated, but the
Yes.
minimum wage remained the same.
That's true.
So how can somebody on a minimum wage become financially stable?
That's a really tough question. And first of all, one thing I always advise someone, it depends on the situation. Someone might be getting a minimum wage right now, is a high school student, maybe is just starting college. One thing I would like to say is to add value to yourself. The reason why I'm saying this, the more valuable you are, the more people be willing to pay you. As a matter of fact, there's some people today, they can set up the price. If you don't give me that price, I'm not gonna come work for you. So look for different ways you can add value to yourself. You know, there are so many even application people today. If you want a translator, if you want someone to build a website for you. So just knowing that one skill, it can help you to make that extra cash, you know, on top of your job. So it's really important to develop your skills. Second thing I would say, try to see if there are different ways you can minimize your expenses. What does it mean? Let's say you're currently renting a place of like $1,000. It might be best to have a roommate. Instead of you paying $1,000, you can be paying $500. You know, splitting the price in two help you to save $500 at the end of the month. Another option may be for those who can, maybe living with your parents for a moment, just for you to save enough money for you to maybe launch something, a business. So there are different ways someone can try, but building your skills, minimizing your expenses, those are kind of great ways to start and see from there where you can go.
Okay. So you did speak about multiple streams of income. So
Yes.
Forex, stocks, trading. I'm
Yes.
pretty sure I'm repeating the same thing, or like crypto and all of
It
these
can be
sounds like
confusing.
gibberish to
I
me.
know.
So what is it?
I mean, if we have to explain every stream of incomes, we're gonna probably spend the entire night. But I'm gonna focus on one of them that I've been doing for quite a while. I've been investing in the stock market for the past 6 years, and I was just curious at the time when I started. I'll be honest with you, I was just giving my money to this website, to this app, and they were investing money for me. I was like, okay, I need to learn how it works. I cannot give the money to those people and they are investing for me, but I have no idea what I was doing, you know. So for those gonna be watching this, whenever we talk about stock market, it's simple. The best example I can describe is like buying a ownership, a portion of a company, because they call it owner. You become an owner by buying a portion of the company, and if the company is worth more money, your investment is worth more. So now there are different ways also you can develop, build your stream of income on top of the stock market. We do have e-commerce for those some people want to build like a store online. Nowadays there are even ways you don't have to actually physically hold the product, to have a product in the storage. You can just buy the product, can come from the manufacturer straight to the customer, so you don't need a physical place where you are storing the products. Another way can be vending machines. You know, some people don't know you can actually buy vending machines and have that to a specific location. It can be at the gym, it can be gas station, school, and that can allow you to make some extra cash, you know. So those are kind of the few ways that we have nowadays. You know, we talk about crypto. I don't want to get into that. It's going to be so much confusing. I wouldn't now advise someone to get into crypto right now. It's not the best thing at the moment. But there are other streams of income someone can can actually generate just matter of learning how it works online. So online.
Wait, do you own a vending machine yourself?
I don't. The reason why I don't, because I don't want to focus on many things at a time. When it comes to investing, I would like to say you need to know how much are you afford to lose. Oh yeah, because when you're investing, you just don't want to be putting money everywhere. You need to focus on where you're getting the most return. But I know there's also what we call diversification, which implies you need to diversify your revenue, your investment different ways. Personally, I recommend to focus on one thing at a time to learn the system. You know, right now my main priority is the stock market. I'm also getting into real estate because now with Airbnb, it's something that many people don't know. You can have different apartments and people renting. That's another way to generate income. So that's my focus right now, stock market, and focusing on the real estate right now. I know people do vending machine. One of my partner actually, one of my mentor partner is actually the one who got into vending machine. Is the one who been telling me about it, how much you can make, but I just don't have the time to actually get into that business at the moment. But I know people who do that, and they make some decent amount of money on a weekly basis. So
okay.
Yeah.
So I've heard about a term
Yes.
Called the safety net.
Okay.
And I'm just wondering, what is it?
Yeah, safety net. Another term that actually people use for safety net is called emergency fund. You know, it's pretty much money you're putting on the side in case something happens to you. Let's say you lose your job. Okay, you lose your job, or let's say something happened to your car breaks down. You know, you need some money at the moment. So that safety net or the emergency fund, it's specifically put on the side for the emergency don't plan, things that you cannot expect to happen, and then it happen. It's important to do it because life happen, things happen. You don't know what to expect. The next day you might not have your job. The next day something can happen to your car. It's recommended, the rule of thumb is recommending to save 36 months of your monthly expenses. I'm gonna give an example. Let's say you spend about 2,000 for your expenses. So if you take 2,000 multiplied by 3, that gives us 6,000. If you say 2,000 multiplied by 6, that's 12,000. So it's recommended to save up to 6,000 to 12,000, but you don't need to do that like right away. You know, like putting 1,000 put into your saving account for emergency. Now that's not what we mean. But having that goal that okay, I'm building my emergency fund. So if today something happened, let's say I lose my job, back in 2020, so many people, they lost their job.
Exactly.
Some of them, they didn't have anything on the side for paying their bills, So I always recommend to people to work toward having an emergency fund. It's really important.
Gotcha. So pretty much, how much of your account, from your pay, does your emergency fund account for?
It really depends. It really depends on your goals, because someone can be making $1,000, but they have a lot of expenses, per month. It depends. You can break it down. Let's say you have 1,000 you're making a month, and your expenses only, this is an example, it's only $500. So the $500 goes toward your expenses. 30% of that can go toward your need, and so that would be about $300, and $200 will go toward maybe for emergency. So you got $500 for expenses, $300 for your other needs you might have, and $200 go toward your emergency. So 50, 30, and 20. That's kind of the rule. So if that's depending on the expenses, because some people, they might have 70% of the expenses they gotta pay off. So that would mean 700 instead of 500. So it really depends on each individual. Some people make more money, some people make less money, or they have more expenses, but it varies. But as a rule of thumb, you can put 50, 30, and 20. So that 20% can go toward your emergency fund, towards saving for, for a goal that you do have, but it really varies.
All right. So when are you actually launching your financial school?
That's a really good question. My team and I are currently focusing on the event that we have November 5th. We are planning to host what we call financial summit, where we're gonna talk a little bit about what we hear, what we're trying to do. Our goal is to financially educate one person at a time. That's what we're focusing on. So I am planning to have even the website, the course is online probably by next year. But we'll be starting first of promoting the book, because the book will show you the steps to actually take control of your finances. And we hope that many people will be interested in joining. We want to educate our community. And it's good whenever people hear they're going to be a millionaire, but the funny thing is not many people actually take the time to even manage the little that God is giving them. So it doesn't start by making millions. It really starts by knowing how to manage, you know, the 1,000, 3,000 you're making monthly. When you know how to manage that, then you can be managing 10,000. But if you cannot even manage the 3,000 you're making monthly, how do you expect to manage 10,000? You know, so it make you question a little bit, but those are the questions that we want to answer. You know, the problem you're trying to solve. We want to make sure that, okay, how do I manage 3,000? So when I'm making 10,000, I know how to manage that. So to answer your question, we'll be launching our course probably by next year. But right now we're focusing on our conference that will be taking place in November 5th, where we're going to be educating, presenting the book to help many people to learn more about finances.
That's awesome, and the conference will be held here in our studio.
Yeah,
so
I am
we're excited about that.
Thank you for the producer for having us.
No worries, and I'll be there. I say no worries on his behalf. All right, so Joel, we're actually at the end of our session.
Wow.
So before you go,
yes,
one last word of wisdom and advice for the audience.
All right, for those of you watching us, who'll be watching this, I'm encouraging you to be financial literate. You know, do your best. You don't need to go to get a financial degree to learn about how to handle money. If you don't know how to handle 1,000, 2,000, how do you expect to handle 5,000? You know, there are simple principles, simple habits that you can develop that will help you. Please learn to delay gratification and live below your means. Don't be pressured to impress anybody, but try to live below your means and delay gratification. That's the best advice I can give people at the moment.
All right, thank you so much for joining us.
A pleasure to be here.
All right, you guys heard it. Delayed gratification and live below your means and be you. Do not try to impress others. So we're actually at the end of our episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So definitely make sure that you have subscribed to our YouTube channel and activated the notification bell so you do not miss any new content. In the meantime, stay safe, peace, and bye-bye.